What's up, YouTube? Welcome back. I have some awesome news for reloaders or anybody that's interested in the current situation of primers in the United States. Primers are a huge part of the reloading process and just bullet making process in general. But for us hand loaders slash reloaders in the United States at least, it has been a miserable few years. The primer market has just taken a crash as far as availability and a spike as far as price is concerned. Us reloaders have been left with virtually no supply of the products that we needed, and then what few products we do see trickle down the chain to retail end up getting swooped up by usually what is a scalper or something like that, or they get put on an online marketplace, auction site, whatever you want to call it. They're very hard to get a hold of at a regular price. Sometimes the big box stores, I can't name any of them, but they might have them where I've seen them as low as around $65 per 1,000 for small pistol or small rifle. However, most of the time in those stores, you're not seeing anything online or in a big box store for under $80 per 1,000 when they used to be $30. For the match primers, they used to be $40 maybe at the most. Now what you're seeing is on the scalper sites, you're seeing up to $150 per box 1,000. And anyway, even if you do find it online, we're seeing them for $80 and the shipping and hazmat to get them to you. So availability down, price skyrocketed. So that's just a little bit of background slash backstory for anybody that didn't know what was going on with the primer situation in the United States. So let's fast forward to 2023 and we have something awesome. Now this has been in the works. This has been going on for more than a year. I first brought you news of Expansion Industries producing primers, basically a new primer company in the United States. Well, it's been a long time in the making, but I finally have the product here in my hand. They're real primers in real packaging. Now, some of you have already zoned in on this and you realize that this says not for retail sale or not for resale, commercial use only. These are samples. So, full disclosure, these were sent to me by a friend of the channel. That's all I can say. These aren't available and being distributed to everybody right now, but this is basically a proof of life video. These do exist. These made their way out so that retailers and investors, people who had money into this game and were waiting for product, they put these out so that they would know, yes, these do exist. Here are some samples of our product. The reason that is important is because one of the reasons I couldn't even bring you any videos about this, no matter how much I wanted to, is because the story behind the scenes has been changing drastically over and over again with this company. We thought we'd have these primers a long time ago. We were supposed to have them way back, but things happen. So legal problems, business problems, things to get their shop running with safety, as far as testing, making sure things are working properly, machines, whatever. Everything, from what I've heard, everything kind of affected them. There was even rumors of lawsuits. I mean, I can't go into too much. I don't want to be wrong and start slandering or just saying the wrong things, but you can do some sleuthing on the internet about the company and you can figure out what happened. The bottom line is from what I understand, the rumor is that this company has been bought by another company. It's no longer the original owners, that people who started Expansion Industries, which would be Richie Smithson Jr. That was the one that we originally brought the kind of question and answer interview type of thing when we did one of our previous videos about this. He was the one I was in contact with. I was wondering why the communication completely dropped off, and that could be a reason why. Supposedly they don't own the company anymore. Some other outfit or parent company now owns them, but they're going forward with producing primers. So here we go. We have the proof of life. What are we going to do with them? So for today, just show them to you and talk about them. But in the future, trust me, we will be doing some, let's say, consistency testing with these, and we're going to stack them up to other brands like Winchester, Remington, Federal, and CCI. But let's just focus on these right here. So these are OEM small pistol primers, number 7 brass. They say that these are non-mercuric and non-corrosive, so it doesn't contain mercury, and non-corrosive for your barrels and chambers. That's a good thing. That should be standard. Now, there's not much else on the packaging that would be of much significance to you. It is made in Texas. That is significant. So American made, they're not imported. We always want to see American manufacturing. But that's the thing. If these guys here can get going and go in quantity, then they can compete with these guys, these guys, these, and these guys. And that way, hopefully, we can bring some of that cost that we talked about down. The availability goes up, the cost comes down. We finally have some relief for reloaders slash hand loaders. Right now, it's to the point where it's not even economical, really, to load your own 9mm, and that's exactly where they want us. Buying the case price that is current right now, they want us just paying for that because it's not worth it. They've said that they are not able to get the quantities out there because they're using the primers for their own ammunition. I'm still calling baloney. They could ramp up production, I'm sure. There's other rumors out there that the government owns the primers and all this other stuff, but the bottom line is, if these guys can get going, we can get going. So these will be available at different distributors, and right now I only know that we have the small pistol available soon. I don't know about small rifle, but I'm pretty sure that the two they were going to focus on was small rifle and small pistol. They'll move on to other things. There are things out there like bench rest primers that people like to try to increase their accuracy with. There are small and large magnum pistol or rifle primers, and that's for using with certain compatible powders to increase performance. You have things like NATO primers that are just manufactured to a certain standard to be universally understood and accepted by NATO countries in our NATO ammunition. But if we can begin to just put a small dent in the small rifle and small pistol category, we'd be doing all right, because 9mm and .223 rule. Doesn't matter what we like, those are the two calibers that absolutely rule. 9mm specifically soaks up an awful lot of primers. So these primers here are what we use in 9mm. Well, let me get these opened up. These seemingly simple little boogers right here are the absolute heart of every single bullet. Without this, they will not ignite. You can't get the powder to go. You don't have a completed charge, a completed bullet. So without this, it's no gas in your car. So right off the top of my head, 9mm 40 caliber, some 10mm, some 45, 38, 357, those all use, and 380, they all use small pistol primers. Now that's a huge problem because that's what everybody shoots for the most part. Like I said, except for some 10mm and some 45, for the most part, those are all small. The large pistol primer comes into play more with revolver or hotter cartridges. And the same thing goes for the small rifle. The amount of .223 that's produced as opposed to .308 is just an enormous gap. So a lot of you are going to be wondering, when can we see these on shelves? The truth of the matter is, I have no idea. I was very lucky to get my hands on these. Like I said, these are samples, and again, thank you to the friends of the channel that sent these in. I was surprised to even get these. If I could take a semi-educated guess, I would say by the springtime, you should start seeing. Springtime, I would say by April. April 1st, always April Fools, who knows? Actually, there's a very real possibility we could see these by the end of the month, February 2023. But I'd say by then you might start seeing them available for sale. Now, this company, even though supposedly sold, has obligations everywhere, from what I understand, to get these primers out. There's a lot of people waiting on a lot of these primers. So once they fill those obligations, they might start taking new orders. They might be taking new orders now. I have no idea how that actually works. But it'll be a while before you just see them at every random big box store or available like as a total on their website to just be able to order case after case. There will be retailers who will have these, and I don't know the numbers that they'll have. They might sell out quick. They might sell out after a little while. I'm not sure. We're going to have to see how it goes. We're going to have to see how people like them. The price is going to be, you know, pretty much the going rate for primers right now, I would assume. I don't know why they would undercut themselves too badly. They need to recover the cost of building this entire facility up to make primers. And I believe when they do say that the cost of raw materials is up, we know that the cost of everything is up right now. Supposedly there is an availability problem also with some of the key components to the primers themselves. That could be true. I'm not sure. I'm not on the ground right there seeing it from my own eyes, but anybody knows that if there's availability pinch, there's going to be price increase. Someday this all might settle down and these guys might really take over when these guys try to, backtread a little bit and they start reducing their prices of things. That's when the competition really starts and we can see how low they can go and how low they can go, and we'll start having a little battle for reasonable price. I get a lot of people talking about the price of these things in the comment section. That's why I'm talking about it now. And when I say reasonable price, primers are the only aspect of the reloading or gun industry, in my opinion, that had such a severe spike in price. I mean, more than doubled the cost. And a lot of other things, they went ahead and they spiked in price, but they plateaued back down to some average that's somewhat near reasonable. These never have. These went up and they never came back down. Now these will get put to the test, like I said. We're going to look at them visually compared to other primers. We're going to take a few apart. We're going to do some possibly sensitivity testing on some of them. And then we're going to do general velocity tests on ammo, and we're going to see if we can see any differences in averages. We're going to pay very close attention to seating depth, and we're going to document any failures. So will these be different from what ends up being on the shelf eventually? Possibly. These are dealer samples. We have no idea what will actually be out there when it comes time for you all to buy them. And trust me, this is not sponsored content. These were provided to me by somebody who has access to them so that I could show you proof of life. But Expansion Ballistics, Expansion Industries, they did not send these to me. Trust me, this did not come from their factory directly to me. And again, I apologize for not bringing you any news on these any sooner, but I couldn't. Like I said, the story on this company and the background of it, it seemed to change almost on an every other week basis. Every time I was ready to bring you an update video of something new that I learned, that would change. So I'm glad I didn't bring you a bunch of repetitive videos, because people would have thinking that I'm just trying to, get clicks and be clickbaity, and that wasn't the case at all. I always was right on the edge of bringing you news, and then the whole story changed again. And I just said, I'm going to hold my horses here, and I'm going to wait till I get them in hand. And now they're in hand, so we can move forward. If you want to see what we do when we move forward, make sure you're subscribed. I hope you enjoyed this video and this little tidbit of good news, in my opinion. And until we see you next time, stay safe, have fun, and keep shooting.